Hey everybody, it's Everett back with you from Hood Time Welding today. Today we're going to actually be troubleshooting a welder for one of my customers. My customer was the one I did the hard facing for. He's got this small Lincoln electric welder that he says it, how does he explain it? He said it goes fast and then goes slow and goes fast and goes slow, and he doesn't know what's up with it. He's thinking power maybe, or something screwed up. So he said, since I have experience with welders and doing some troubleshooting, he asked me to take a look at it. It's only a 110. Like I said, it's the Lincoln Electric 140 Pro MIG. He's running 75-25 on the gas. I'm going to plug it into this extension cord to try it, because I know this extension cord will run welder fine, because that's how he usually runs it. And I've run my own extension cord off of this, or I've run my own welder off this extension cord. It's a heavy duty extension cord. So first thing we're going to do is check his gas. I mean, he's running a little bit high. He's running it a bit high. He was up like 24. Unless you're out in the wind. Yeah, I can feel it chattering a little bit already. I don't even have to test weld it. I can feel in the gun, I can feel that vibration. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to just clean the tip here in the cup. Sometimes it's something as simple as that. Let's get this crap off the tip. The nozzle looks pretty good. To help out with the tip, I'll go ahead and also get some of my nozzle dip. You guys have seen me use this before when I'm doing a lot of welding. It usually works a little better once it's heated up, but just for the tip here, I'm just going to dunk it in a little. Try to get a little of that on, do a little welding with it. So now that we've got that, inside here, there is a chart. So let's see what we should be setting this at. So I got some 1/8 inch here. It's saying D at anywhere from 5.5 to 7. So let's go right in the middle and hit it at 6. So we'll go ahead and get this put back on. I can already feel the chattering's gone there. So we'll go ahead and throw my welding hat on, my gloves, and we'll give it a quick weld, see what it sounds like, see what it feels like. I can still feel it's feeling fast. You can see it here. He's got the wire tensioner in here cranked all the way down. You shouldn't have to have it all the way cranked down. You should have it be able to do it at about like 3 to 4 pounds of pressure. Yeah, the settings on the inside here are totally weird. Let me check one thing. It actually might be a little bit bigger wire than I was thinking. So let me check what his spool wire is here. Okay, he's got 035. Okay, so yeah, I was looking at the wrong chart here, or looking at the chart wrong here to see where I was setting it at. Let me get this back on. It's actually not running bad there. Just crank this heat down, or the wire speed down just a little bit more. See what she feels like. Yeah, see, she's hanging up somewhere. So, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take a look at the liner. Liner might need to be blown out. I don't know if anybody on here has done that before. It's a pretty simple process. So what we're going to do is loosen this up. He doesn't have a ton of wire, so I don't want to use up all his wire here. So let's see what the connection here looks like. Okay, so the connection looks good. Looks like he's got a solid connection. I have to show you the inside of this. I'm not impressed with how close. Let's see if we can get that switched a little. The ground here was like sitting on the input power cable. So I mean, the liner doesn't look bad. Let me see. On the end of this should be what size wire it's meant for. I'm wondering maybe he should have got he's using 0.035. Okay, so on the end of the liner itself, it does say, I would show you, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. 0.035 to 0.04. So that liner should be able to handle this wire. So one of the things we're going to do is, like I was talking about, we're going to actually blow the liner out. Pretty simple process. Just unhook it from the machine here. Go ahead and unscrew your tip. And then that exposes your liner in there. So now what we're going to do is, let me get my air gun. So all you're going to do is just, what it sounds like, you're just going to blow it out. What happens is, a lot of things people don't realize is there's a little bit of junk on the wire. So I'll show you a little setup I do to help with that. Let's see if I can feel this blowing out. So, the other thing I'm seeing is it looks like this liner might be a tad bit longer than it should be. Because right now, it's actually right flush with here. So when you're pushing putting your tip in, it's actually pushing that in. Actually pushing the on the tip. So that could be another point, as you might be creating a little bit of a. So right there, you can see it. I pulled that liner tight, and it's actually sticking out past where the tip goes in. So when you push the tip in, you're actually going to be putting a little bit of a kink in that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is cut that liner off. Let me see. We want to cut it. We want to get about that much of that off. So we're probably a ½ inch too long on that liner. So let's go ahead and mark this out. Yeah, we're actually going to go with like a 5/8. Let me get set up right there real quick. Gonna actually use the cutoff wheel on my die grinder. They tends to work a little better, so you're gonna have to bear with me for a moment. Why I got this switched over right now. I've got it switched for sharpening tungstens. Alright, so that's off. Where is my bit for my cutoff wheel? No, that's not the right one. Sorry about this, guys. I just should have had this out beforehand. Wasn't thinking. But yeah, that'll definitely make a difference if you don't have which one's for cutoffs? Well, these are all polishing. Oh, nope, there's the cutoff. And I know I've got plenty of little cutoff wheels hiding out down here. There we are. The reason I use something small like this is you want to take it nice and easy when you're cutting these off. You don't want to end up with a jagged edge. So your die grinder is going to make a nice cut on this. You use one of the big cutoffs or something, you're going to end up with a jagged edge. So to me, you have it. And get this tightened down. Anyways, to me, if you have it, one of these little cutoff wheels on your die grinder is just about perfect. Of course, we'll grab my safety glasses. I thought I had them on my head, but I don't. All right. Almost had it cut off. It's the only problem with these little ones. You got to be really gentle on them, and I'm not great on being gentle on stuff. Luckily, I have a ton of them. Sorry, this is taking me a minute to get this cut off. It's a simple procedure, but fat fingers and being a little rough on equipment. So like I said, what I'm trying to do is make it, well, let's get this cut. Gosh dang it. Of course broke it again. Just because I'm trying to do it fast for you guys. Keep breaking these dang little wheels. This is actually the one time I bought them. I bought some wheels that were a little thinner than I would have liked, so they're real fragile. But I also don't, I spent money on them, so of course I want to get through them. Usually I buy them so they're just a teeny bit thicker. Alright, let's see if this third wheel's a charm. There we go. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is grab my tip cleaners real quick and just make sure there's not any sharp edges there. My Hobart tip cleaners. I like theirs because they're nice and long like this. You really get all the way through on some of the bigger tips. There we go. So now we know we don't have any sharp edges. Oh yeah, see, you can see down in there I've got the liner now back about here. I don't know if you can see it from up there, but back about here. So by the time you put their tip in, there's only going to be a little space, but it allows that liner to free float a little bit. You're not going to get that spot that it can hang up on. You know, like I was saying, with the liner being too long, it was probably pushing back and creating a tight spot here. So let's go ahead and get this put back together, see if between blowing it out and which way does this go? Let me get this back in first. Okay, so there's an orientation on this. Should be about right here. There we go. Get that tightened back up. Get her. So go ahead and get this fed back through. So to recap, we tightened up we lopped the piece off the liner, and we've blown out the liner. We've decreased the tension here. So again, let's try giving it a minute, or a weld for a minute, see what she does for us. So the other thing is you always got to make sure you want a nice loop for your whip. You don't want anything to be too tight. Well, first we got to run our wire through. I might have that wing nut just a little tight. Give that a little loosening here. Should be just about through with the wire here. Come on, baby. Where you at? Oh, I can feel it. Alright. So, you know what I'm going to try though? first thing I'm going to try is I'm going to try a new tip. I don't know if I have any that'll work. Yeah, these should work. If I can find a 0.035, because usually I run 0.03. So I don't know if these aren't going to work, I don't think. So since I don't have a new tip for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a minute and I feel a little jaggedy on there. I'm going to suggest to the customer to get some new tips. But since I don't have one, what I can do is take my cleaner here. I could feel when I first went in there that it was a little tight. Hey, bud. Sorry about that. My son just needed me for a second. So I actually cleaned this tip up, and when I first put tip cleaner in, it felt tight on the end. So like I said, I'm going to suggest to the customer that he get some new tips. They might look alright on the outside, but there's times on the inside that you'll get a little spatter up in there. And just the tiniest piece will screw your clearance up and start grabbing your wire. For some reason, it does it worse when you're welding. Like it'll feel like it's speeding fine when you're not welding, but once you get welding, for some reason, when she starts heating up and expanding, and that'll screw things up. So let's go ahead and run a bead now. Let's turn our wire up just a little bit. It sounded good. You could hear it. It sort of sounded like fried bacon. So it actually seems to be welding pretty decent for being a 110 machine. So now I'll go ahead and bring it over here because I don't think there's really much more I can do to get this running. We're going to loosen that just a teeny bit. A little bit more. See if that helps on that feed. Sorry, we're going to try one more just by loosening that feed up, because you don't want the wing nut on your feed too tight. You want it to be able to sort of go freely so you're not pulling against that. So let's go ahead and do another one. What is jerking? Excuse me for a minute again. Sorry about that. Alright, now I got everything nice and straight. Let me try this again. Okay, the wire feed's too fast. Let's try that. Still a little too fast. There we go. She's sounding pretty good. So I'll go ahead and bring it over here and show you the inside of this machine, show you where I was talking about that I thought was crazy that she was touching. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and put you over here on the other side. Make sure you can see well. There we go. So I know it might be hard for you to see, but this is your ground cable coming in. And I actually had this turned down here on this cable, which is this is where your power comes in. So the ground was actually sitting on the power. And I don't actually like the way that's even sitting. I'm going to try to turn it just a little bit more and see if we can get it to run this way. Yeah, you had bare wires sitting. I mean, I know it was on the coated wire, but still, man. There we go. So what I'm going to try to do, there we go. There, I like the way that runs a lot better. Make sure she's nice and tight. So one of the things I always do to my welders is you can buy a it almost looks like a cork, but it's made out of like wool. And what you do is right here where your wire goes in to here, you clean it off, or you put it on here so the wire gets clean. So my hack for that is I just get a scrubby pad like this, and I need to go inside to find it. But then I'll throw this on the wire right here, and then put a one of those big folding paper clips on it to hold it in place, and that'll do the same thing. That'll clean your wire for you. So it's a quick little hack to your welder. It'll save you your liner and stuff. It'll get all the crap off the wire as it comes in, because there's times when you'll have a little rust on this, any of that, and as that's going through that liner, that'll get caught up in that liner. So like I said, quick hack. The one thing I did forget to check is, yeah, the wire's going nice through the feed wheel, so that looks good. The feed wheel isn't worn out. Sometimes you'll wear a groove in this top one if you're pushing down too hard. So that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and just flip that up. We'll clip this on for the customer, and he should be ready to go. I actually might take a few minutes when he comes and picks it up and give him a few little pointers on adjustment. But yeah, it's simple as that. Oh, I'll show him an adjustment, and then I also suggest to get some more tips, because that was the other thing. So quick and easy little thing, couple little things you can check when your welder isn't running quite right. This chart is close, but you actually need to sort of know what you're doing a little bit to just dial it in that last little bit. So, it's all about listening and adjusting the feed. You can just sit there and hold it on, and you can adjust the feed just by listening. Like at the beginning, you could see it, the way it was running, it was pushing too much wire too fast. So then I decreased the wire, and as I did, you could hear it start evening out until we got that bacon sizzling sound. So yeah, that's all there is to it. It was a quick, easy thing for me to do for the customer. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Any comments or questions, go ahead and ask. Big thumbs up is always appreciated, and we'll see you later.